Hi, I'm Hugo, and I'm from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. I'm a Malaysian of Chinese descent, and I've been to Hong Kong. Been living in Hong Kong for the past 6 years. Yeah.
Great. My name is Puven. I work as a sales operations manager here for a digital property advertising agency or company. And I am second generation Malaysian. So my grandparents are from India, which
Okay.
I think you would know
Yeah.
because a lot of Indians in Malaysia. And yeah, so I've been in Hong Kong for about a year and 10 months. About.
That's guess I'm the third generation Malaysian of Chinese descent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Third generation. Okay.
Yeah.
So your grandparents were born in Malaysia.
Yes,
also?
my grandparents were born
Oh,
in
nice.
Malaysia. Yeah.
Okay, cool, man.
Okay.
Okay, three interesting facts regarding Malaysia.
Yeah, I think Puven, you
You-
agree that food, the
Food.
passion for food, yeah.
Food is a
It's
good one, yeah.
something, we is very unique to Malaysian. We will our passion for food, we will we will take great extra effort to look for good food. Yeah.
I think because there's so much variety, because it comes from so many different places. So like the Indian ancestry and
Yeah.
the Chinese ancestry, Indonesian,
Yeah.
Thai, there's so many different influences that you can't really find a lot of it anywhere else unless there's a specific Malaysian restaurant.
Yeah.
You can't really find a lot of that stuff there. So I think I would agree. Food is a big thing in Malaysian culture. So yeah, I agree that is a big part of culture. I would say one thing that I sort of thought about it when I was looking at this. One thing that I really think we take for granted when we are there is that our neighbors aren't like us. We only realize that when we come here that it's actually kind of weird what we do back home.
Yeah.
That the person next to you speaks a different language at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't speak the language.
Yeah.
They cook different food. They have different belief systems, but they're your neighbors, and you just sort of get used to growing up this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and then you come here, you're like, hey, it's different. Like I thought. You don't realize it until you're out of the country.
Yeah. I think it all really fundamentally stem from the diversity, right? So like for us, we are the second or third generation. We grew up in a multi cultural people of different ethnicity,
Yeah.
right? So we grew up with good friends who are of different, I have very good Malay friends, Indian friends, and we grew up with different exposure to different religion, way of life.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's an interesting one because
Festive,
like
right?
you know when
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys did this, like when you are out say with your friends.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, you were in the playground, when the mosque starts they start
Yeah,
praying.
yeah.
That's your sign that you got to get home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you also have the
Yes,
same thing.
yes, yes.
And I think that's something that you only would know if you're from.
And I think it trains us to be more tolerant, right?
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of tolerance to other differences. Yeah. So for example, we respect our Muslim friend when we go out to eat, that we will choose a halal place.
That's right. Yes,
And
that's true. Something
and
we
I
are
think
conscious about.
that's kind of like automatic, right? And we don't fret about it. Yeah,
Yep.
because
Yep.
I'm sure like our generation, we definitely have more integration has happened compared to our forefathers. And the other unique thing is we're so used to speaking different dialects, languages.
Thinking about this.
Right,
Yeah, I was thinking
and
about this.
definitely so much so in a particular sentence we have a mixture of different,
Like this
languages.
is fairly formal. Like if we were off camera,
Yes.
this is not the way.
Yes.
Like even the messages earlier were not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's a lot of words that you wouldn't really use
Yeah.
in Hong Kong that you would generally use. But I was thinking of some words like, the word fuyo. You know the
Yes,
word fuyo?
yes,
Like
yes.
fuyo is like you're excited. It's like
Yeah,
fuyo.
yeah.
It's a sound that means
Yeah.
nothing.
And
but
I think that makes us unique as Malaysians.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I think wherever country we travel, we kind of appreciate there's a diversity in culture. We have higher we are more alert to the
I think so.
local practice, and I think we kind of like have higher respect for each other.
Sure. Yeah, that'll be a good one. Yeah.
We grew up in a Malaysian way, of course, yeah, which is basically a mixture of different practice of different races, right?
Right.
But at home, since my parents, my relatives are Chinese, so naturally I grew up in a more Malaysian Chinese culture,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Of which has been localized.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of the practice are still well kept in Malaysia, in the Chinese community, which are no longer practiced in other parts of, say, even China, Hong Kong, or even in Taiwan.
Yeah.
So I think we grew up with that kind of Malaysian Chinese ways, and in terms of, say, uh, um, food wise, it's a fusion.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
obviously Indian house,
Yeah.
lots of curry, but for some reason there's tofu in the
Yeah,
curry.
yeah.
You know, it's weird. Like you wouldn't see that in India, but in Malaysia, yeah, you
Yeah,
do see
yeah.
that. Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah. So we enjoy the variety of festivals, right? So for example, although of course we have the Chinese New Year, we have the Thaipusam, the Deepavali, right? And we do, although it's traditionally these are the festive of other ethnicity, but we do join in to celebrate. I remember, for example, the Hari Raya, which is the festive for the Malay, our Malay colleague, friends. We join in. We do visit their house. We have we join for the open house. We have
Well, you're there just for the food, really.
no, not just for the food. Yeah.
Come on, you're there for the food. Because the food is good.
Yeah.
You want to see your friends, but it's mostly for the food.
Not for the type of stuff.
It's the same thing because it's really the reason why you're excited about celebrations. Is generally, you've got food that you generally won't get on most days, and it's made at home and
And
it's
of course,
with your friends and
out
family.
of it, we have one of the most public holidays in the world. Yeah. Okay, not the top,
not really,
but we
but,
have a mixture of other.
Yeah, we have the reputation of having a lot of holidays. It's not really true, but we have the reputation for some reason. Yeah. So in my office, we have like a social committee going on. So I sort of make it a point to try and infuse holidays that is around where our company operates into our social activities. So whenever we have, say, a festival going on in, say, our Thailand business, then we have some celebrations going on here in the Hong Kong office where we have food, there's decorations, blah blah blah. So the same thing with Malaysia. So we introduce. So there's a couple of Malaysian restaurants here. So I try to introduce them to things like satay with people who generally would like.
Food is important.
Food is the way. Food is the way that I can only think of that way really to introduce to the culture is food, and then the food sort of raises more questions. Like when they see the food coming in a certain way, they're like, oh, why does it look that way? I've never seen this before. Then you sort of explain, oh, it's actually got influences from all these different places. That's why it looks this way.
Okay, so the Malaysian community here, we are very fun and active lot. Yeah.
We are active, yes.
There are a couple of active Malaysian association.
A couple?
There's a Malaysian Association Hong Kong.
Oh.
There's the Malaysian Hong Kong Chamber of Commerce and a few more other associations.
right.
Of course, the more active one are the Chamber of Commerce and the Malaysian Association. And you and I, we are members of the Malaysian Association of Hong Kong, and throughout the years, I think the association has done a great job in bringing Malaysians together, right, by having a variety of social events, and in our own Malaysian way.
Yeah.
Of course, right? In a way, of course, where every event always ends with good food.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Whenever we go for like a hike or something like that.
Yeah. So
for
the
some
Malaysian
reason,
way is
food at the
good
end.
and it must be cheap.
Yeah.
Preferably free. Then it attracts a lot of Malaysians. Yeah. But by and large, I think being far away from home, being in a different environment. Most of us grew up, spent quite a number of our life, early part of life in Malaysia. So I think definitely here in Hong Kong, whenever the Malaysians get together, we are able to relate back what actually happens back then.
Sure.
In our own lingo,
I
right?
think the association has been very helpful to me to just give me a real idea of who is here. Like from Malaysia, what type of people have actually decided to move over here, for what reasons, what businesses are they in. It's been very insightful, I think, just to understand how Malaysia is sort of providing talent in some way to this side of the world. Well, it's not that far away anyways, but nevertheless, it was very interesting for me, I think, just to find that out. In terms of a one-day tour, what would we do in Hong Kong? So I actually have a set routine now. It's generally the same thing. So in the morning, if it's a one day, in the morning, we try to go to the peak because the view is nice. We take the tram up and people are excited with the really nice tram that goes that way. And it's a really nice view. People take some photographs. We will look at the nice skyline, and then we get a break. We go for lunch. Typically, lunch would be the one of those roast meat places like roast goose, which is something you can find here that you can't really find in Malaysia.
Yep.
So you introduce them to roast goose here. Typically, I skip the dim sum bit because generally they would have had dim sum. That's the first thing they do when they get here. So I skip the dim sum bit. And then in the evening, if they're up to it, we may do the Buddha, if possible, the cable car up. But if that's kind of tiring, it's kind of a little bit of a long distance. Otherwise, we will skip that, just rest. And then there's some really nice restaurants here. We go for dinner, some Italian food or something like that. And then go to Kowloon side to get some drinks. Look at the Victoria Harbour. Just have a look at that. And that would be sort of
Don't forget
get them
shopping.
to experience
Shopping,
and get them to experience all the different transportation options because that's
The
very
tram.
interesting.
Yeah.
The tram, the train, the ferry. So if you're going to Discovery Bay, you have a different type of ferry.
One thing I must add, they must try the Hong Kong escalator.
The mid levels one.
No,
Any
of the escalator in MTR, it's the speed is
better.
amazing, much faster.
You like
than
it?
back
Okay.
home? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've not done that yet as part of a tour, but maybe. Let's see going forward.
Yeah, I think although we are far away from home, Hong Kong it's where we are residing now.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's our second home. Malaysia is still our home.
Sure.
The good thing is we have a lot of Malaysians here that we can relate to.
Well, I think it's a lot of aspects of Hong Kong that is similar to Malaysia.
Yeah.
That I think makes us kind of comfortable here. So things like being respectful to people in general.
Yeah.
I noticed that it's something that's fairly common here, especially respecting people who are older, referring to them in a respectful way, giving them priority in different situations. Those are things that we practice back home. So a lot of values here, I think, aligns to the values that we have back home. So we sort of get on board fairly quickly because of that, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think great place.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.